Hello. Something very interesting that I've been looking at in the last few years is at this general culture that we are building, let's say, in the animation circle, which is asking feedback openly or asking for general feedback openly in social media forums and all that. And I just like to talk very quickly because I've been receiving some emails and asking some questions about all this, about why I don't recommend this and why some few points of what I would say we could, let's say, orient or feedback in order to really help us. To me, I see asking for feedback in an open matter or in an open general way. Like if I go into Facebook and I type and I ask for my friends, hey friends, give me feedback about how am I doing in life in general. What do you think about it? I know it's a kind of extreme example, but when it comes to animation, we're basically doing that, right? It's like, hey, everybody, tell me, how do I animate? And this is tricky because you never know who is going to answer, what's the vision of this person, what's the experience of this person, if you like it or not. And probably many of us, we encounter lots of conflicts while doing this. So first, I think it's very important to acknowledge and realize that animation is a creative process, is somehow an artistic expression. And that means that it's something personal, it's something that comes from within us. It all comes down, there is a video somewhere in my YouTube channel, maybe I'll post it somewhere in there, where I ask you, why do you animate? What is it that makes you to be an animator, right? What are those aspects of animation that you like while the process of animation? And that's an important question because while doing that, you reflect and you realize what are those things that you like to explore, why you have that impulse to be in animation, and why do you have that impulse to see it? Because we do a lot of work and we spend lots of hours in front of a computer. So I think it's important to acknowledge where is that motivation coming from, what are those aspects? And once that we know what are those aspects, I think it's important that we learn to surrender to them and go in the direction to become better at them, or to, let's say, to pursue or to chase them. And the thing is that once you know what are those motivations, what are those techniques, what are those visual aspects, or what are those what's that creative impulse about, and you learn how to surrender and to go through for them and to try to become better at them and to have fun and enjoy while doing those, you can base your feedback based on that. So for example, you're aware, okay, I need some feedback about, smears or polishing or posing or something. So my recommendation is that you go and you find somebody who you see that is doing that kind of job that you like, or those kind of aspects that you like, and you ask them for feedback about those aspects. It's important that you somehow are interested in what this person does, like you feel attracted to his or her work, artistically speaking. And not only that, I will also say that it's important that you like this person as a person, right? So you can create this kind of, let's say, mentorship relationship, because that's more or less what you can do. I like something that is getting a little lost in these days, which is the old relationship of mentorship and pupil. No, I think that's the word in English. And you can just very simply, in a very polite and respectful way, contact these persons that you like through email, or just talking to them if they are somebody who you are working with, and telling them very straightforward what you like. It's like, hey, listen, I really like your work and I would love to learn from you. I was wondering if I could just send you or show you my work and tell me how to improve these and these aspects, right? Overall, if you have clarity on what are those terms or what are those things that you feel you want to be better or you want to explore, that you feel that you are a little bit not so good, go to these guys or go to these persons and try to create that kind of relationship, or just try to simply ask them to bring yourself up. Now, the other thing of what you may want just a general feedback is if you are looking to, let's say, general feedback in order to see how your skill sets are compared to, let's say, the average level of the animation industry, because maybe what you want is to get a job in the industry, so you need somebody to tell you, hey, you're doing good, you're doing this way or that way, you should improve this and should improve that in order to fit in what is a vision. I think it's important to understand that the animation industry has a very particular way to see the animation. There are a few styles. There are a few different ways to do it. It doesn't mean that it has to be the way. But I understand that in order to get a job in the film industry or on the video games industry or in the TV series industry, it's important to get some feedback where you can compare your real or your personal work with those standards, right? So for that, again, my recommendation for you is to find somebody who can really help you to get like a more clear vision of that, because again, not necessarily everybody who is in the internet can help you to go in that direction. Something that also is, I think, is important, that this person, you have to find this person or this group of person. Maybe you have like a few friends or a few mentors that you like. They have to be willing to help, right? And they have to be good, let's say like that, giving feedback and more or less help you to see what you don't see, so you can learn, right? So you can improve. So it's not just that you have to like them or like their work. They have to be somehow willing or have that, let's say, willingness to help. So as a pro tip or as an extra tip for that, my recommendation for you, something that I've seen many times, is that I receive emails like, hey, can you give me some feedback? Here is my reel. Thank you, bye. Like that. No, I think is better just to, again, just like in any other kind of relationship, it starts like a little by little, like, hey, I like your work. I would like to learn from you. Would be possible to, you can look at my reel and you can tell me just a general feedback. I can get a job. If I like to get a job in the industry, so can you tell me a little bit? Or I'm looking for some feedback about this and this technique, or about my smears, or about my posing, or about my polishing, and so they can get back to you and say, no, I'm sorry, or maybe they don't even reply to you. And that's okay, you keep looking, because fair enough, everybody has the right to choose about do those things or not. Or maybe they say, hey, yes, of course, just send it to me, and then you can send it to them. But do it in a polite and, let's say, in a respectful way. I wouldn't even say respectful, like in a normal way to, just creating a relationship with somebody else. So again, I would say consider twice or check with yourself first. Why are you asking for feedback? Some animators say, I've seen that they are asking for feedback as a way to get some kind of approval, general approval, or positive feedback, which nothing bad about it, but I think it's also very tricky, because that's a way of building a path or building a career based on what others may think or not. And that's, again, creativity is something that comes from within. I think it's very important to satisfy your creativity just for yourself and from your own vision. You can find, of course, you can use feedback in order to find a job, because you need to get a job, you need money, you need to fit a little bit in what are the standards of the industry. But if your career is all based in making that others likes your work and get good words of other, that can be a little bit excited at the very beginning, but at the end it's going to create a big emptiness within yourself, and it's not it's not going to be good. And as I say many other times, I think it's important to cultivate the let's say the habit of first learning to surrender to what is your own personal creative impulse, and to follow that and to go for it, and then to find a balance of overall, if you're working in the industry, of your own personal impulse and what do you need in order to be professionally successful. And that's the geese. And yeah, and there's find like a good balance. in order, to make money and to keep living the life, which is important.